Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My
How are
name
you?
is MC Wakanda. Please, can you tell us your name, sir?
My name is Victor Adeni.
Sir, I have few questions for you for our viewers.
Okay.
So, question number one, sir, is while growing up, was life really favorable for you?
Well, when I'm growing up, life is not favorable because there are challenges, a
Okay.
lot of challenges.
Okay, sir.
We grew up in the village.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, sir, what are those few challenges so that
The,
people learn from?
the few challenges that is there, that time we travel far to go to school.
Okay.
And that is number one. And number two, at times you don't even meet the breakfast for you to go to school and no money as of then. And God is able to help us to the level where we are today.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, the second to the last question is, while growing up, is there any mistake you did that you regret doing it, so that those people watching you will learn from it and not make that same mistake?
Um, well, there are a lot of mistakes because as you are growing up, there are a lot of mistakes that you do that not knowingly but unknowingly. And when you now grow up, then you now see that this is a mistake. This is an error that you have done when you are coming up. I was coming up, I mingle with some guys that they are smokers, and they want to inculcate me to what they are doing. But thank God, because I was brought up in a Christian home, and the first day that they met me, they said I should taste it. There's one cigarette that they call white SM. I said I should take. I said I can't take this thing because why? Because the reason is that it will give me some challenges, cough. I say I know there's no cough. I say okay, take. I just take one. For the rest of my life I will continue to remember that day because I cough to the last extent that water was dripping out, and that is the greatest mistake that I made in those days.
Okay.
And I thank God, God did not allow me to still continue or to proceed in that matter.
Thank you very much. So, sir, what advice will you give our youth that are watching you right now?
The youth that are watching me right now, the advice that I will give to them, they should draw near to God. And it's only God that can help someone. Mortal man cannot help you. And don't look at somebody the way he's doing his own thing. Maybe the way that guy is doing, maybe it's not going to be the same way you go. Just follow the principle of the word of God. As you are following the principle, God begins to direct your step and order your step aright.
Thank you very much. Follow God. Follow God. Good morning, sir. My name is MC Wakanda. Please, can I meet you?
Yeah, my name is Abraham. I'm a
Okay.
choir member in LFC Polo.
Okay, wow, that's nice. So, Sir Abraham, I have quite few questions for you this morning, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, question number one is, while growing up, was there any crisis you faced on the road that stopped you or that hindered you from achieving a particular goal?
Interesting question. So for me, growing up, the biggest crisis was being in a family where one of your parents is always on travel to work. Now, this created for the other parent, my mother, the extra burden of filling the gap of the father and the mother. Although the father was providing, my father always provided, and he comes back from time to time. But then as children, we really didn't get that enough time to bond with your father or take back feedback if you had challenges outside. So you didn't have somebody to bring back your challenge to put you in the right way. So for me, my coping mechanism was to be very quiet, very, very quiet. And this meant that I naturally withdrew from engagement with even my peers and even the activities going on in school, in church. You just see me as that kid that sits in one place. Even when it's break time, I'm always there. What it meant for me is that my academic performance were really at the floor, like way below what they can be. And it also like made me behave over serious and over mature in some instance. So my childhood was not really a childhood. It was like adulthood in childhood. So for me, that was an experience. I felt that was like the toughest uh, challenge I had to face as a child. And for me, for my children, I will always be there for them. And to ensure that the mother can give them the mother support, and I also can provide the fatherly support beyond just money. Because my father was giving, if it's money, he was giving. But then that's be a
Yeah,
father,
that presence
yeah,
was not
it
there.
was missing.
Okay, okay, yeah.
It didn't affect just me, it affected my siblings too.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. All right. So, I would love to ask you one personal question like that. So, what job do you do? Do you have a job or a skill that you are actually monetizing now?
Should I speak of skill or job?
Anyone you have that, yeah, or you have
Uh,
both.
okay, I have skills and I have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the moment, I'm not monetizing any of my skills.
Okay.
So my job is what is providing for me
Okay. Now,
in the NGO
oh,
setting.
okay, okay, okay. Now let's talk about the job. Was this actually the type of lifestyle you planned for yourself from the very beginning, or there was changes?
Okay, now this is sweet. For me, I've always been led in that state of perpetual quietness, perpetual seclusion and detachment from the general public. I could hear myself think more, and I could hear God's leading even the more. So at the age of about 12, I started writing gospel books.
Oh,
So I got challenged by one of my peers back then. I was in the midst of changing school when family changed location. And I got challenged by that person that if I come to their school, last position will be too hot for me. And really, I was doing so bad in my academics by that time. So I took the extra effort to start studying like mad because I was already secluded from everybody. Music was my like listening to good music was my way out of all of those drama playing out in the family. And then I started reading my books and paid so much attention in the Bible. I started writing Christian literature and following Pastor Chris Oyakilome, Rhapsody of
yeah,
Reality. So
reality. Yeah.
I wrote to look like him, and I started speaking almost
Much more like
like
him.
him. And then at the time, I had just one name, Abraham. So there was a name my mother and father wanted to give to me when I was small, and then there was a disagreement. So the name never reflected on anything. So
Okay.
God said Lincoln,
Okay.
and then Lincoln means excellence. So for me, I took up the name. Not only took up the name, but transformed my academic performance immediately. So the school I entered, and they were saying I'm not going to carry last. I immediately started representing the school in international and
Wow, wow, wow,
national
wow,
competitions and bringing prize
wow.
back to the school. So there and then in school, even in my secondary education, I'd already known that my work, I will make a living from writing because I was already a tutor in my class in my secondary school. When no teacher is around, I take the marker, I go to teach. So when I got into the university, it was still the same trend. I studied civil engineering, and I was the best civil engineering student in my
Wow,
class.
wow,
If
wow,
you
wow, wow.
wanted to like do anything, meet Abraham. I'll provide all the support I'll provide you during the semester, but in the exam hall, please leave me alone. They used to sing, no connection for church, oh, no sit down. Like if you sit near me,
Yeah.
no connection. I always say I'll give all the support I can give you, but in the exam hall, please. I'll carry 2 pens, sometimes 3 or 4 pens, 2 rulers, calculators. If you tap me, I push the extra one to your side. So I don't turn to look. So when I left school, I did not go to look for a civil engineering job.
Okay.
I went to look for a job that was about public speaking.
Okay.
And then when it clicked, I was in Lagos. We were doing our induction. And then I'd already committed some funds to get some of the materials I need to like groom myself with and then be better for the job. So then I stood up in the place. My mind was leave. So I picked my phone and faked my call. You should have told me now. You needed to take these things. We talked about these things yesterday. Now I am in a very important. I'm doing my doctorate,
Wow.
and you know. So I didn't want anybody asking me why I was leaving.
Yes.
So that call already explained.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
carried
yeah,
my
yeah.
things and straight back to Delta State. And the weekend of that same week, I never seen civil engineer needed apply within immediately. But I saw it. I was going to buy food. Immediately I entered. And then the following day I did the interview and I was employed to be a civil engineer, monitoring and evaluation officer with my first NGO in a
Wow.
World Bank funded project.
Wow, 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 wow.
And then I was working there for a while, and the man, because he is a promiscuous man, he was using ladies to go and do my field supervisory visits. They will come back with the report, data, and ask me to write the report, ask me to compute the data, do data analysis. So what he was doing actually pushed me more in the direction because I became more steady in writing,
Yeah.
more conversant with the job, and before you know it, I became the solid, like the go-to guy if you need to write anything for the organization.
Oh,
And
okay.
even to date, I only write.
Wow. So the
Yeah.
background was there and you actually go for it.
Yes.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'm in the right profession.
Wow, wow. That's nice.